Hi, I'm Vince Molinari, and welcome to FinTech TV. We're broadcasting from the iconic New York Stock Exchange, and I'd like to welcome Mark Penn, who is the chairman and CEO of Stagwell, Inc. With a career spanning over 4 decades, Mark is a leader and sought-after expert in public relations, advertising, and market research, as well as polling. He is currently chairman and CEO of Stagwell, Inc., a NASDAQ company with over 14,000 employees, over $2.7 billion of annual revenue. Prior to founding Stagwell, Mark served in senior executive positions at Microsoft as Executive Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer. Mark, it is an absolute delight to have you with us today. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here.
Well, I am so enamored. Your career is amazing. I know we're focusing on Stagwell today, but that journey of what you've accomplished and created at the helm, maybe you can give us a little grounding and tell us a bit about the journey.
Sure. Well, I started out, I was going to be an antitrust lawyer. I gave that up before I started. I became
a little change.
A little change. I became a political pollster, worked all around the world in 20, 30 countries even, working for presidents in different places, and then got to work for the U.S. president. Ran two political campaigns. 1996, I won with President Clinton. 2008, not so much with Hillary Clinton. Ran Burson Marsteller, wrote 2 books on trends, Microtrends and Microtrends Squared, and decided that I saw the marketing landscape as it was, and that it was missing a real digital-first marketing company that could take advantage of the transformation in marketing. And so 7 years ago, I set out with Steve Ballmer as my backer when he left Microsoft to start Stagwell. And we've grown it today, as you said, to $2.7 billion and 14,000 people in 34 countries.
Well, I can't even give you enough kudos for that. And, chapter after chapter of this amazing journey that you have. When we look at Stagwell and really, moving to the forefront of what I guess we say transforming marketing in a digital framework, what do you see as the trends and how did you capture that? And it seems like you caught perfect timing.
Sure. I think the advertising industry is moving from primarily brand advertising, let's just promote this amazing brand in a nice way, to more performance marketing. Okay, how do we get consumers to buy? And I think that's where we were well positioned at Stagwell. We had put together a global network of performance marketing companies. And then on top of that, creative has to not work just on TV, but it has to work online. It has to work in so many different formats today that we were also, I think, ahead of the curve in putting together creative and technology. So, I thought if we could just be digital first, we could do digital transformation, research and insights, paid media, and creative, and put it together under one roof, primarily digital, that we could knock the majors off their pedestal.
Well, I have to say, anticipating that trend and really, I'd say the acceleration of digital transformation through COVID, I suspect really positioned you quite well globally.
Yes, exactly. I think COVID accelerated digital trends maybe 4 or 5 years. Now we're going to move into AR and AI and another world of technology. And at Stagwell, we're ready for that. Of our 14,000 employees, we have got about 1,500 plus engineers. We don't just design stuff, we build it. We have a suite of tech products because our aim is to go from global full service all the way down to tech platform self-service.
I want to talk a little bit more about that, but you bring up, artificial intelligence. We look at augmented reality. We've got so much coming down the pipeline. It looks like you're already embracing that again in an early adopter phase. What does that mean to you? How does that excite you when we look at combining that with digital transformation?
Well, I think if you take a look, we've released a product called Profit. You can find it at www.prophet, Prophet,
got that right.
Profit.ai, and you can try it yourself. And if you're a PR professional, it helps you write a news release. It'll change the tone. It'll see who's going to cover it, who's going to cover it favorably, and then help you design and write your pitch, and then send it out. All assisted with AI and generative AI. And we've been working on this for years, and I think we hit the trend now, right, where there's just tremendous interest. And it takes what would have taken, say, 6 hours and gets it down to like 1 or 2, right? And it's an incredible time saver.
Well, I can already hear our editorial team logging in and trying out Profit right now. You have this phrase, and I really love it. Every company is a digital marketing company. Can you unpack that for me a bit?
Yeah, I actually took that from my old boss, Satya Nadella, who said, hey, don't worry about Microsoft. Every company is going to be a digital company. And so I said, well, thinking about it, every company is also going to be a digital marketing company, meaning that they can't rely on the old systems of marketing. They need to have an internal system. They need to have a consumer interface, maybe a DTC operation, maybe a full suite of data. And they've got to bring that to bear in the online marketplace because consumers aren't just on TV anymore. In fact, they're rarely on TV.
I was going to say, reducing quite rapidly, especially next gen, right?
Even as they're streaming here, they are on addressable media. And addressable media means that we have to get the right ad to the right person at the right time.
So when we look at consumption of that ad and behavior modification or moving to action, what is the impetus for that, and how do you do that so well at Stagwell?
Well, you've got to go first to the right people, right? So let's say you're wearing a tie today. So you're probably a consumer of ties. I'm not. So we want to get the tie ad to you. And so what are our clues that you might be interested in ties? What have you signed on to? What have you searched for? How do we have a clue that you're going to be interested in ties? Because the ad's going to be wasted on me, right? And so efficiency means finding people. Second, it means having a strategy. What kind of tie? Right? How many ties do you buy a year? Oh, Father's Day coming up. Maybe that's when we should do it, right? And so that means right person, right, or right time, and the right strategy. And if you put that all together, a marketing campaign will be 6 or 8 times more effective than a pray and spray effort that you put out there today. And in the old days, hey, you could just buy some golf tournaments and that would be it. Today, it is a sophisticated, data-oriented business. And Stagwell was built for the modern marketer to carry out all those tasks seamlessly and efficiently.
Well done. Mark, when we look at 2023 and Stagwell's growth, and even beyond 2023, this climate's a little choppy, right? We have inflation, we have interest rate hikes. How do you see that playing in, and can you give us a little thought on what you see going forward?
Well, look, I think so far it's been a relatively healthy consumer economy. Right, we had a lot of tech companies. Some of those tech companies pulled back, but they're not going anywhere. They're going to come back, and particularly with all the competition in new areas like AI, they're going to come back big time. I think for the first time, they're going to have more competition with each other for new skills than ever before. And that, of course, I think is going to lead to a lot more marketing to the consumer and also a whole set of new use cases of technology. So, look, I think it's a pretty exciting time. Obviously, the economy cooled down. It didn't turn off. This is not the pandemic. It's not 2008. It's a slowdown, not a halting of the economy. And maybe with the inflation report today, maybe if the Fed pulls back, maybe, in fact, we really will have that soft landing that companies like me will really enjoy.
Mark, thank you for that. And it's always wonderful to hear some optimism from a business leader like yourself and where this is all playing out. And it isn't all doom and gloom. And we've got some blue sky right in front of us. Maybe you can talk a little bit about the financial performance of Stagwell and really this growth rate since, it's only 7 years ago, I guess, but really quite impressive.
So thank you. Yeah, this is our just issued annual report, right?
Perfect timing.
And, last year we grew 14% organically to get up to $2.7 billion of revenue, right? And so we're pretty excited about how we've scaled up. People are unfamiliar with our stock. We didn't have any analysts when we started. We've got 4 or 5 now. They all say buy. They all have targeted prices way above our existing price. They look at our financial performance. They look at the 90 plus cents we generated in EPS last year, and they're saying, whoa, how come that stock is so low? Well, I can't answer that question. Investors have to decide for themselves. But if they pull the analyst reports, I think you're seeing that, hey, we're getting better known in marketing. I think we're really well known in marketing now. And we're getting better known with investors when they look at our performance and our scale and size. It's hard to find someone who both produces this kind of growth and has the kind of 50 to 60% cash flow that we ultimately have, enabling us to continue to invest in growth.
Very impressive. I have to give out a disclaimer as FinTech TV. We don't recommend the purchase or sale of securities on the show, but being you're publicly traded, we have to put that out there. But really, when you look at that level of cash flow and growth rate, super impressive. Mark, thank you so much for coming down today. Love hosting you here at the New York Stock Exchange, and look forward to having you back again real soon.
Thank you.